You're listening to Grit City Punk. My name's Alek, and I'm the frontman for the Portland-based hardcore band Benchscraper.
Welcome back, friends. This is episode number 29 of Grit City Punk, Tacoma's underground punk, hardcore, DIY, music and variety show. I'm your host, Jeremy. Glad to be back. Mid-February now, and the year is starting off with a bang. We've got a ton of shows happening. We've got a ton of new music coming out. The scene is thriving. And today I have a very special interview with a person by the name of Alek, who is the vocalist of Benchscraper, which is a Portland hardcore band. If you don't know, get to know them. They are an awesome band. I had them at my November Real Art show, and they will be playing up here in the Tacoma and Seattle area again this summer, at least once or twice. They are very rad. I suggest you check them out. And this is my first ever interview with somebody from Portland, which is pretty cool. I've been following the scene from a distance for a while. Haven't really talked to anybody directly involved with it yet. So I'm really excited to get this interview out for you. We've also got so much music that I had to cut a few of them that came out over the weekend and save them for next week, for next episode. There's just so much music coming out. It's ridiculous, but it's an absolutely good problem to have. What else is going on? Seahawks won the Super Bowl. That's a big fucking deal. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to the city of Seattle and the Northwest for having, a good, healthy distraction from this shit happening in the world right now. You take your joy where you can find it, For me, it's music and, football's kind of a side thing. I'm glad the Seahawks won. It's good for the city. It's good for morale around here. The parade was off the hook. My kids went. They said it was really cool. Tons of people. And not like other cities, Seattle didn't burn itself down because our team won. So that's good too. Another thing of note, went to Real Art Saturday on the 14th. Love Bomb Show, Beautiful Freaks, Rat Utopia, Au Revoir, and Actress. Great show. First time at Real Art in a while for me. First time I've been there since they remodeled the green room and the bathroom. So that's really cool. The place is looking better day by day. I mean, they're really doing good work there, and I'm glad to support them. And I hope everybody else is glad to support them as well. Rat Fest was a huge success, and, they've got tons of sick shows lined up. Saturday's show was just short of 300 people, which is just absolutely incredible. And I love to see that. And I hope to see that a lot more. So let's get on with the show. Let's get on with some new music because a lot of it came out and I'm going to tell you about some of it. All right. New PNW music for the first half of February, give or take. Let's get into it. Seattle band Filth is Eternal have dropped their second single from their upcoming album Impossible World, which drops on March 17. The second single is called Long Way, just as rad as the first single. Not going to play it, but you should definitely go check it out. Pre-order it. They got really sick looking vinyl. Definitely go check that out. The Rat Utopia Experiment. I gave you a little tease last episode of their new single called Blast. I'm going to play the whole thing for you now. It is so sick. Great high energy, politically charged punk song. That's my bread and butter. So this is a really good song. I'm so happy that this is out in the world, and it was really cool to see it live. So this is Blast from the Rat Utopia Experiment.
Give me a B! B! Give me an L! L! Give me an A!
Next up, we've got Seattle band Echo Ravine. They've just dropped what I believe is their second or third release. I believe it's like their first proper LP. It's called Fane. It's available everywhere except YouTube, weirdly. But you can find it everywhere else. It's on Bandcamp. They have vinyl available. And this is a really cool, kind of slower, softer than most of the other stuff on the playlist this episode. It kind of reminds me a lot of the like grungy Americana of, say, the Walkabouts, but with like a pop sensibility that's very reminiscent of like the Twilight indie rock kind of thing of like the 2010s or so. It's very cool. I recommend it. The band is called Echo Ravine, new LP out called Fane. I'm going to play a song from that called Taking Up Space.
If I'm broke, would you find
Next up, huge release, absolutely huge release. Came out on Saturday. Capala debut EP. It's self-titled. We've been waiting a long time for this. I know that they had some complications with the recording and the mixing for what seemed like forever. They've finally got it. It's done. It's out. It's absolutely fire. If you've seen them live, you know how hard they rip. And this EP is a perfect representation of that. It's produced by Colin Weaver up in Bremerton. And you can tell a lot of care and work went into the songs on this EP. Some previous singles that had released, Herbiture and Bleed, are on this, and they sound so sick. I think Herbiture is a re-record. It sounds at least a remix, but I think it's a complete re-record. Absolutely incredible. Definitely go check that out. It's streaming everywhere. They are having a record release or an EP release show at Real Art on the 27th of this month. Word is that they will have CDs. Don't know if those are going to be available at the release show. I hope so. But if not, it will be shortly thereafter. And they've got new merch coming up to celebrate the release. This is big. This is like Capala, like they've been building and building and building for at least 2 years, but especially over the last year, they've really been gaining traction, building up steam, and really coming to their own and coming to power. And this is the culmination of that effort. And man, it does not disappoint. So check it out. This is a song called Spoon Fed. It's off of the Capala self-titled EP. Go check it out. Next up, we've got the homie Soda Cracker Jesus with a new single called Freaks on Fire. And just like every release from Soda Cracker Jesus, this, it checks boxes for me. It hits me on like an emotional and mental level where like the music sounds great. It's definitely touches on some psychedelic era like Bowie or Floyd. That's where kind of his sweet spot is, but kind of informed by more modern punk and hard rock. You got to give it to the guy for the lyrical content of these last couple of singles he's put out. I mean, there's no question as to where he stands on politics and social issues, and I hope this is building for something. I want an album from Soda Cracker Jesus really bad. But for now, we have a handful of singles from the last year or two, or this is definitely one of the top ones. So this is called Freaks on Fire. It's from Soda Cracker Jesus. You can find it everywhere. It's on Bandcamp. Check it out. Seattle hip-hop punk hybrid crossover artist Truancy is back with a new single. It's called Take One. It dropped on Bandcamp like 2 weeks ago. It's on streaming services now. Really hard-hitting, bass-heavy, aggressive hip-hop song with, a lot of punk and metal influence in it. I don't touch on hip hop very much on the show, frankly, because I'm not really familiar with a lot of the artists and the scene around here. I do love a lot of hip hop and various underground rap genres. Truancy, I've definitely been keeping an eye on. He's dropping some dope shit. So check this out. It's out everywhere. It's called Take One from Truancy.
Add a little rush to the morning, add a little waste to the day. Never rains when it's pouring, I can feel it wasting away. Blame Kurt, Keith, Darby, 3K, 5'9 Mac for the way I talk. Blame my city for the way I move, and blame the metal for the way I walk. Saying that I changed up, Mac is when I talk about day ones, they ain't getting pay stubs. Crying online, wanna see me outside, cause we doing fly shit and they can't come. I can hear you talking like a threat, truth is, I don't really give a fuck, cause you ain't one. Fuck a grain of salt, take it with a 12 gauge main assault. I don't usually move like this, but this beat got me jumping like a trap phone. Never could forget where we came from. Propping up the scene like a backbone. Promise we ain't one and the same. You don't even know my government name. You get a hole through the jugular vein. Return of the East Hill feeling. Catch him chilling in the cut. Drill him like penicillin. Blah. All I do is numbers, better take one. All I do is numbers, better take one. I'm tired of being humble like I ain't none. All I do is numbers, better take one. All I do is numbers, better take one. I'm tired of being humble like I ain't none. All I do is numbers, motherfucker, better take one. Add a little rush to the morning, add a little waste to the day. Never rains when it's pouring, but I can feel it wasting away. Blame Kurt, Keith, Darby, 3K, 5'9 Mac for the way I talk. Blame my city for the way I move. Blame the metal for the way I walk. I can see you hate it in the worst way, but you couldn't be me on my worst day. Your girl said you ain't get shit on the first date. You don't even get head on your birthday. You talking to the realest you know nothing about. Game so tight I will consensually nut in your spouse. And while I'm up in your house, dragging my nuts on your couch. Eat your lunch, take a shit, never flush and be out. Chill. I'm trying not to pull up to the liquor store. I'm trying to say nigga less and brother more. I'm only doing shots for the dead, so the thoughts in my head try to tell me what we living for. Started picking up a mic when it flooded in. Chopper get to spitting and stuttering like the Judder Man. Reaching to your soul, D-spark on the session. Walk him down Wheeler, Big Mac 11 like that. All I do is numbers, better take one. All I do is numbers, better take one. Tired of being humble like I ain't none. All I do is numbers, better take one. All I do is numbers, better take one. I'm tired of being humble like I ain't none. All I do is numbers, motherfucker, better take one. Add a little rush to the morning, add a little waste to the day. Never rains when it's pouring, I can feel it wasting away.
Okay, so newcomers on the scene, hardcore band called Next Objective. They just dropped a debut EP, and I believe they are playing, it's got to be one of their first shows, either just played it or playing it soon, I forget. They just dropped a debut EP. It's called Trinity Test. It's great, kind of shouty, kind of tough guy, hardcore punk. Really digging this. Like to see more from them, like to see them live. If they come down to Tacoma, if they're playing more shows, whatever, I will definitely check them out. So the EP is called Trinity Test, and this song from it is called Sick World.
Fighting a war that we can't win. That fucker made it out. He don't give a
So this next one is brand new to me. I had never heard of this band before. They're called Sux. That's SUX. Apparently they've been around for a while. I've never heard of them before, so I'm bringing them up now. They just dropped a single called No Thanks. That's NOTHX. From an upcoming LP called Suck Cells that should be out everywhere on March 27th. So this is some cool, like, garage thrashy punk. Definitely go check this out. I will be checking out that LP when it drops. So this is the band Sucks with a song called No Thanks. Seattle Punk Vets fan club have just dropped another single. They just had an EP a couple months back that was really good. They dropped a single now this last week called Don't Give a Damn. Great, like 80s sounding punk with a little bit of like garage rock influence. Really cool, really catchy. Highly recommend. If you don't know Fan Club, get to know Fan Club. They're rad. So this is their new single called Don't Give a Damn. Good friends of the show, Tacoma punk band Life Rips, have announced that they're releasing their debut LP called Make It Pop on March 24th. They've dropped a couple of singles from it. But the album is kind of already out. The official street date is 3/24. That's when it will hit streaming services and be widely available. They are selling pre-orders of the CD and the vinyl right now on their website. Obviously, I'll throw it in the show notes, the link for it. So the album is called Make It Pop. You could order the LP or the CD right now through their website, along with some merch, some really cool merch. They have bundles, or you could buy, the things separately, which is a great tactic. I like that. Bundles are cool if you want a lot of stuff and you could save a little money, but also, keeping everything separate as well for people who maybe can't spend as much money or don't want the shirt or want the shirt but not the vinyl, etc. I'm always a fan of having optional bundles. So this album, if you pre-order it now, you get a download code for the album. So, I mean, it's available now if you want to hear it. It doesn't release until the 24th of March, but if you want to hear it, you can buy it, and you can even just buy the download. I believe that's $10, might be $15. It's on the website. I pre-ordered a CD because I just love CDs and I love this band. So I've been listening to the album and it fucking rips. The band is called Life Rips. Go figure, right? Definitely give it a pre-order and you will get to listen to the album for like a month and a half earlier than the rest of the world, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to play a song from the album. It's called Double Creature Feature. And I mean, if you like Ramones, like Danzig era Misfits, if you like kind of goofy, catchy, short punk songs with some horror themes, but also just some fun, this is exactly that. So Life Rips, Make It Pop. The song's called Double Creature Feature.
With new features will have our mansions, yeah. The creator is a massive endeavor, can be trusted again. And as the moon becomes full now, we start to hear the sound of lycanthropy. Well, just grab my hand and maybe we can make it out alive. And it's that double creature feature, you and me against the world alone. In the midst of the light, we are creatures of the night, baby. Yeah, it's that double creature feature, you and me against the world alone. They're gonna try and find us, they're gonna try and tear us limb from limb. But we gotta stick together if we will make it out alive. A silhouette of a weapon draws near, the horde starts to begin closing in. But just grab my hand and maybe we can make it out alive. And it's that double creature feature, you and me against the world alone. In the midst of the light, we are creatures of the night, baby. Yeah, it's that double creature feature, you and me against the world alone.
Okay, next one is a band I don't really know too much about yet. I will definitely put in the research now that they're on my radar. They're called Mismanaged. That's Miss as in MISS, managed, all one word. They just dropped a new single called Radio Silence. And this is really cool. It's definitely got some metal / new metal kind of music, but with more melodic vocals, clean vocals. It's really cool. I enjoy it a lot. You can find that everywhere. It's Mismanaged with a song called Radio Silence.
As soon as I say please, nothing to revisit now. Try to fall back in our crowds. Either way, we're both too proud to really say what we're still feeling, spit it out. Oh, radio silence is your word. It just makes me feel fucking wild. You're default. You don't need me at all. Radio silence is your cure. I still want more. No. Feeling like we'll never win. Contemplate how long it's been. Blissfully so ignorant. Blind to something everybody else can't miss. I'm not trying to bring you down, but I'm needing you around. Go through motions, want to drown. All requited situationship profound. Oh, radio silence is your word. It just makes me feel fucking worse. You're default. You don't need me at all. Radio silence is your cure. I still want more. No, it's found me. Oh, I want more. Please, please, radio silence is your word. Is your word. It just makes me so fucking worse. You're default. You don't need me at all. Radio silence is your cure. I still want. Give me more. I need more.
Last one, Downsize. Olympia's Downsize, kind of heavy shoegazy band. They've been around for a minute, literally not that long. Absolutely killing it in Olympia, playing tons of shows in Olympia. I think they've played Bremerton. They might have even played Seattle. They've never played Tacoma. Stay tuned. They just dropped a single from their upcoming EP. The EP will be out next week on February 27th. The single dropped over this last weekend. It's called Self-Destruct. So this is our first taste of Downsize. If you like this, which I think you will because it's really cool, be sure to come to Real Art on the 27th of February for the Love in This Economy show, because that will be Downsize's first ever Tacoma show. They've never played in Tacoma. They're playing at Real Art. This is their Tacoma debut. I've got them booked with Shamebanger, Star Matriarch, and Nogginless. Also stay tuned. Here it is, everybody. The debut of Downsize. really excited about this band. I'm really excited to have them. I've never seen them play before, and I'm super, super excited to have them at Real Art on such a loaded bill. Like I said, EP releases next week, so the week after their Tacoma show. The song is called Self-Destruct. It's from Olympia's own Downsize.
You are the bane of my existence. I don't care if I go to hell. Tossing and turning, my teeth fell out. In my dreams, I can only scream. I can only Indigo bags live under my eyes. Trust everyone but myself. Crash the car, I bit my tongue back. I can't speak. I can only scream. I can only please tell me this thing's loaded. Everything's different. Everything's different. I'm breaking my own heart. I'm breaking my own heart. I'm breaking my own heart. Everything's different. Everything's different. Everything's different.
My name's Alek Herman, and I am the front man for Benchscraper.
How did you get into punk and hardcore?
You know, as long as I remember, I was craving heavy music. I remember being like 8 or 9 and asking my dad, like, I want heavy metal. And he like brought me like Blue Oyster Cult. And I was like, okay, like that is, I like it,
Yeah.
but like, I don't think this is it. This isn't what I mean. And then I think I got like, he gave me like Metallica or something. I was like, okay,
A little closer.
we're definitely getting closer. But I think sometime around probably like 7th grade, 8th grade, started kind of discovering like Cannibal Corpse and death metal, just entry level kind of death metal. I think when I really crossed over into punk and hardcore, and power violence was really big at the time. And I'm from Southern California. I'm from the LA area. There is a great grind violence band called ACXDC, and I went and saw them play at like a tiny little DIY show, and it was just like, this is it. Like it blew my mind. It was what I wanted, and I think from there. I started hanging out at Chain Reaction, rest in peace, but that was like my venue. They just shut down. I'd kind of been into like deathcore and stuff at the time. And I remember seeing Ceremony play in like 2008, I want to say. And I was like, that's it. Like, that's exactly what I want to be doing. Yeah, I've been playing in bands since I was 12 years old, playing in punk bands since I was about 16 years old.
So were you or are you a music student?
No, I don't know shit about music theory. I mean, like, that's not really true. I like know a little bit, but no, I played bass for my like longest kind of power violence hardcore band I was in, and I love playing bass. I'm like a fine bass player and a shitty guitarist, I would say. But nope, no music formal education at all. I think honestly, we all were like, we're gonna learn how to play instruments, and we just decided the best way to do that was just to start a band, and
Right.
it kind of works. It makes it hard to play other people's music, but you learn how you play. You learn how you play
Right.
your music anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. So what does punk mean to you?
Yeah, it's a very philosophical question. I think to me the big distinction. I started with heavy metal, and this isn't always the case for both, but I think heavy metal is a sort of escapist genre, right? So like power metal is singing about dragons, or death metal that's like serial killer shit, or whatever. Whereas I think punk, when it's at its best, is much more vulnerable, much more grounded in like expressing the feelings and the lives of the people making it. Obviously, there's sonic differences and stuff, but yeah, I mean, I go back to having been super into this deathcore band called Suicide Silence. That was like this death metal band, and the front man had all these tattoos, and he's probably the reason I have plugs. And there was this whole kind of aesthetic, and they sang about like killing people and stuff. But then I went and saw Ceremony play, and Ross Farrar comes out, who I think is one of the greatest frontmen of all time, and he's just wearing like blue jeans and a t-shirt, but he like rips the t-shirt off and like wraps the mic cord around his neck, and I was like riding around on the ground. I was like, that is so much heavier, and in my mind, that was punk. There was something really authentic about it, and kind of like disarming. I mean, there's that. I also think having values is part of it. Also, I think that the second part of it, which kind of plays into that first bit of authenticity, is I don't think it's punk if you're sort of afraid or shying away from or pensive about expressing opinions, things you don't like about the world, or visions you have to make it better.
Yeah, absolutely. That's interesting that you said metal is more of an escapist genre. I've never heard that said, but it makes total sense because, and I think I got into metal before I got into punk also. And it was totally like an escape. It was like listening to it in the dark with headphones. It was like, nothing else is happening. It's just that. But then once I discovered punk, then it really turned more into, well, what is actually going on here? There's a bigger picture. There's other things that are happening that's informing this music, and this music means something.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense that, my transition from, and don't get me wrong, I still love metal. Like, I love it. I've seen Iron Maiden 3 times. Like, I'm a D&D nerd. I like escapism. I think it makes sense that transition for me and for a lot of people around me happened sort of around puberty. I think getting a little older, becoming more aware of the world, maybe becoming more politically aware, having more kind of complex feelings of angst or whatever. The escapism wasn't cutting it anymore. And I think that's around the age when you start really having something to say. I hit a point in my life where hiding from scary things or covering them up with escape was less appealing than sort of group catharsis and confrontation of those things, which I think is at the heart of punk.
Yeah, 100%. So how did Benchscraper come together?
Yeah, so we all met working at a restaurant. The restaurant's called Kochka. It's here in Portland. It's like food of the former Soviet Union. I'd worked PM line for a long time and wanted to work AM to just healthier. I could go to more shows, whatever. So we all met working on the AM prep team. At the time, we were doing our own in-house bread program and making some really badass Eastern European style bread. And as we kind of got to know one another, we realized that we had really similar tastes in music, and we were playing a lot of hardcore and a bit of metal and a lot of rap in the kitchen together. You know, it's an exciting time for hardcore. It's been an exciting time for hardcore the last few years. So we were, expressing our excitement about new releases and stuff. My coworker Nico, I gotta give them a shout out. I believe it was Nico who said Benchscraper, because that's a tool you use, right? We're using these bench scrapers to shape dough. It's just like this flat rectangular metal,
Also called a dough cutter.
a dough cutter, a dough knife for those who don't know out there. But Nico was like, that kind of sounds hard. Like that kind of sounds like a hardcore band. And I think for like at least a year, it was just a joke. We would joke about what our song night names would be. We'd joke about our antics, but it was like completely a bit. And I think it was probably a conversation I had with Zach, our guitarist, who's just a killer cook, by the way. Just like such a hardworking dude, like really amazing work ethic. I was like, well, I mean, you have a basement, I have a drum set that someone could use. And it kind of just, we met up and it was like zero expectation of it going anywhere. Like, could we even write a song? Like, could it happen? We weren't even sure who was going to play what. Yeah. And that was, I don't know, going on 2 years ago. And we've kind of done a lot in that time.
Tell me about some of what you've done with Benchscraper. What are some of the highlights so far?
Yeah. I've been in a lot of bands in the past where we existed for years and wrote tons of music and played a lot of shows, and there's like no recordings. It's like the most depressing thing, or like one grainy live video. And so I was kind of really adamant that if I was going to do something, I wanted to take it serious enough because it's just more fun that way. And I was really adamant we record. So this was the first time I've ever been in a band where we recorded our first demo before we ever played a show.
Okay.
Which was always like backwards. That's not how you do it. But at the time, I was just like, I've been in so many bands that just kind of fell apart very unexpectedly. And so maybe like insecurity about that was like, I need to have something. And so we put out that first demo, which is, I think, pretty rough by like the standards of what we're doing now. But it was great because we threw a lot of sounds at the wall. And it's kind of all over the place if you listen to it now. But we were kind of figuring it out. And then we went back like, I don't know, like 4 months later, and recorded another 4-track one. And we kind of found a little more focus. And those were done with Now Recording with Mitch, who's a great guy. By then we'd been playing shows and sort of catching our stride. And I think gigging more kind of made us realize what songs we like playing live. And we released like one single. And then most recently, this, I guess it would have been April, March, April. Yeah, May. It would have been May, I think. We released No Reservations, No Substitutions. And that was recorded with Dan, who plays in a great band called Guilt Tradition. And I think we kind of really caught our stride in terms of like our production style that we were looking for. I love what Mitch did with Now Recording, and he's a great engineer. So it's like nothing against Mitch. It was more about us knowing what we wanted to ask for and what we were looking for. And in that time we played so many shows and with some of my favorite bands in town and just in the area. I mean, we played with Dry Socket, who I think are just one of the great Pacific Northwestern punk bands right now. We played with Misery Whip, which is not just locally, I think one of my favorite death metal bands of all time. I think their most recent release is just, it's such a like complete and incredible record. And
Yeah, it really is a complete package, start to back.
it's no skips. I don't jump around.
Right.
It is, yeah, it's sort of an experience front to back.
Yeah, it's a cohesive statement that actually made my top 10 list for the year.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So Playing with Misery Whip was huge. Benjamin is a really, really great dude from Misery Whip. And our most recent show, which was actually like kind of our last show before we've gone into this, we are now currently in a writing hiatus. We have, we're not playing shows because we're writing. And we have studio dates recorded on the calendar happening. But that was our last show before our little kind of ending the season of playing. And we played with Misery Whip, and it was a benefit show for a great organization called Milk Crate Kitchen, which was founded by a chef the chef who got me out of the dish pit like many years ago. Great guy named Casper. But Milk Crate Kitchen basically takes like restaurant and food waste and then has volunteer cooks that make it into meals. And it's like a no question ask, delivered meals to food insecure families. So we raised a ton of money through that. And to play with Misery was so sweet. So just like, it's been so much fun. And the fact that we're only 2 years old and that, we're about to record our 5th release and that we've gotten to play with these just incredible bands has just been like, I'm so grateful, really.
So how long have you been cooking?
I think I'm going on like 15 years if you count like kind of like soft prep, and like I was like a delivery driver, did some prep to start out. But yeah, before that, my first jobs were like, I had like a brief stint as like a high-rise window washer, and it turns out I really hate heights, so that like didn't work for me. And then like construction, and then they got me into roofing, and same thing. I really hate heights, so that didn't work for me. And when I moved to Portland about 13 years ago, like I said, I'd been working in a pizza place in LA, but I moved here to make music. I was actually in like kind of like an indie surf rock band at the time, believe it or not.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And I was just scrubbing dishes at like multiple restaurants to just pay the rent. And my chef at the time, this guy named Michael Casper, is just a killer dude. Was like, man, we got to get you out of the dish pit. You're such a fast dishwasher. You can do this. And before I knew it, I was on Saute Station, and rest is history.
Did you ever find the bacon stretcher?
I haven't, but I'll let you know that I've sent many people to find it. Yeah.
Good.
It's somewhere down there. I also like asking people to go check. You hand them a plunger. He asked me to go check the tiles to find loose ones. That's a good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a new one. I've never heard that.
A nice little side project, some side work.
Yeah. Another one was to go grab something out of the basement when there is no basement.
Yes. And of course, classically, the hardest thing to say in the world is, I don't know what you're talking about, or I don't know what that is in a kitchen, right?
Right.
Everyone is supposed to just know everything.
Yeah.
It's the classic kind of paradox of like, you want to, there's this espoused value of like, we're going to teach you and develop you and everything. But there's absolutely such a thing as stupid questions, and there's nothing worse in the world than asking one. So, yeah, that's a thing.
It's very embarrassing.
It is. Yep.
So tell me about your songwriting process, like as far as like your lyrics or the musical approach.
Yeah, so Zach writes the lion's share of the riffs, and him and Adam and Ray will kind of work out the instrumentals and stuff. And then they'll kind of bring that to me. And sometimes I have lyrics just lying around because just things come to me and I write something out and then it can be adapted. Sometimes I just get the instrumental and I write over it. And then I usually have a good amount of input on structure. So there'll be like a kind of a bunch of riffs in a song, but I'll be like, why don't we hang on to this spot a little longer? I think I can do something interesting vocally there. Or, I think this last part, but that might actually be the intro part. So that's kind of where most of my input goes structurally. As for lyrics, I'm a writer. I do writing freelance. for like I help people like do emails and stuff like that. It's not very exciting, but
Okay.
I've written fiction for fun. I like words. If I have an idea, it will get typed down. But honestly, a lot of the times I don't need to write them down. I just kind of get this thing stuck in my head, and it just kind of lives up there. And I don't know. I've always had like I'm terrible at math, like horrible. Like I can't even do like long division, like really bad. But like I'm one of those people that can just like rattle off paragraphs of books I've read or like lines from movies. That's just like the way my brain works, like very word oriented. And
Right.
I think in writing lyrics for Benchscraper, initially I think this was a joke band. I think initially that was like it was like a funny haha, like what if we took this joke we've been talking about? It'd be even funnier if we had a demo, it'd be even funnier if we made a
Right.
t-shirt. But almost as soon as I got writing, and I think this kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier with punk and vulnerability and stuff, it was like I couldn't help but actually feel like some sincerity about the stuff I was saying. Like, man, I actually am kind of angry about this thing, or this actually does feel kind of cathartic. And the more I started writing, I started realizing that the sort of scope of labor politics, the scope
Mhm.
of labor culture, it's so massive. And some people can talk about it in a big picture way really well. I mean, see Misery Whip, right? Like it's a manifesto and it's amazing. And I'm just not that smart,
Right.
but I think, I think for us, I started to realize that like the kitchen and the service industry in general is really kind of like a microcosm and a case study of um, what's happening in late stage capitalism in a lot of ways. The
Yeah.
nature of hierarchy, the nature of exploitation, of alienation from the fruits of your labor. I mean, you know, chefs that work in fine dining restaurants who can't afford to eat at that restaurant. Like that's
Yeah.
that's Marx, like that's
Right. Yeah, exactly.
and so like don't get me wrong, like there's a lot of dumbass lines in that music, like I've got to have there's got to be a chuckle, but I think I've yet to write a song that didn't have like some granular bit of politics,
Mhm.
and yeah, and I think that happened organically, but then once that started and we realized that's what was happening, I think it's deliberate now for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that I noticed right away that kind of like really got me into your band was the fact that like the songs seem kind of like kitschy and gimmicky on the outside, like
100%.
first in, first out, or no substitution. But I think that the line that really got it for me was on No Substitutions was the last line. There's no substitution for a living wage. And it's just like, that made me realize, wait, I should go back and read these lyrics because you are saying something, and you're taking these restaurant cliches, these service industry cliches, and applying it to like an actual philosophy of of labor and of the class struggles and stuff. So yeah, I think and to hear you say that it's very deliberate now, whereas it may have started as kind of a joke, makes a lot of sense, and I really like that.
Thank you. And I mean, I really appreciate that observation, because especially in this like genre where you're like screaming a lot, you're like, man, I hope someone hears this.
Right.
And I actually will say that I think on the new release, while there's still plenty of gutturals and fry vocals and stuff, I've, as we've gone on, made verses like a little bit more intelligible deliberately, because it's like, well, I got all this trouble, and it's easier on my
Right.
pipes also. But
Yeah.
there's that. But yeah, I think I think the first song that I wrote that was just kind of on our very first demo that was made me realize that I was like kind of talking about something real is a song called Shift Drink,
Mhm.
which obviously it kind of like
Very relatable.
yeah, and at face value you're like, oh, this is like a song about drinking, but it's the chorus of that song is pay me enough and you can keep the fucking shift drink.
Right.
Um,
because I've worked at a lot of places where that is your benefit. Like
Yes.
they hire you. And you're like, okay, what are the benefits? Well, you get a free shift meal and you get a free shift drink after you're done.
Yes. And I mean, and that's pretty standard, but I've seen beyond that where it's I worked at a place where when you signed on, you sort of automatically had a tab,
Mhm.
and the tab would just deduct from your paycheck.
Yeah.
And I would watch guys sit there after their shift and drink, and come payday, they don't have money for rent, and now they're asking for an
Right.
advance on rent, and it's like this snowball. And I'm not even I don't know necessarily that its intention was exploitative, but it becomes really dark really fast.
Yeah.
And to be clear, like we're not a straight edge band. I'm not straight edge. But I admire the philosophy a lot. I think they're right. I'm just not good like that.
Right.
I'm not that good. But yeah.
Right.
But I do identify with like the way that substance use is a form of entrapment, and so like that was kind of the
Mhm.
first one where I was like really feeling strongly about something, and it's like, man, this song's kind of not a joke, and now I think with this new record that we're writing right now, I think, I mean, you're always excited about your new stuff, but I think it's really really honing in, even like more so on a lot of that stuff. And I think we've been spending so much time kind of trying to find our sound and find our process, find the way that we want to sound on a record, and production notes and stuff. And now that it feels like we kind of get that, I feel like I feel like I got stuff to say,
Mhm. You're actually the first. Well, you're my first interview with a musician in 2026.
Sick.
And you're also my first interview from Portland. I've
Oh, cool.
covered a lot of Portland bands, like as far as new releases and stuff. But I've never interviewed somebody from Portland before. So what's the Portland scene like for the hardcore scene, or even like an all ages, more like punk scene? What are the venues like?
I think a lot of things that are beautiful, and a lot of things that are authentic, and a lot of things that are like really meaningful are things that are sort of created under pressure. And I think there has been a lot of pressure on the punk and hardcore scene as it exists today, just over the years, with the closure of all ages venues, the closure of DIY venues, the cracking down of fire marshals on basement shows and house shows and things like that. 13 years ago when I moved to the city, it felt like there was a house show on every corner. It felt like there were all of these things. I'm sure this as well as anybody, that punk just it's nothing without the kids.
Right.
And
it always has been and will be a movement of the youth.
Absolutely. And so, when I moved here, I was playing like a psych rock band, and I guess it didn't affect me as much. But that, even because it was like an older audience, but even so, like, we played so many house shows. And so there is a group of people in Portland, and actually really kind of a few little pods of people who have just put an incredible amount of effort, an incredible amount of time into making spaces and carving out spaces. And so, the folks over at 777 Booking do incredible work. They put on incredible shows. And just all of Portland is really lucky to have them. And they recently, I don't know how long it's been now, maybe a year. I don't know. I'm really bad at estimating, but they opened a venue called the High Limit Room, that is on Hawthorne and in Southeast. And it is just such a gift to the Portland punk scene in terms of, we've played there once. We played there with Misery Whip, and it was just an amazing show. The venue's great. The sound is great. It's all ages, always all ages. And I've been to multiple shows. I've played there once, but I just look around and I'm like, wow, this punk scene in Portland is really going to survive, because these are kids that are starting bands, playing their first shows. There's a new generation there. So I think that's really beautiful and amazing. There are some other venues around, But like I said, it's a struggle for all ages. I mean, if you want to play a bar show, you want to play a bar show, no problem. I mean, there's a million bars, that they'll put you on, they'll give you drink tickets, and like, a couple $100 out the door and call it a day. And like, we do that sometimes. We did that a little more at the beginning when we didn't have connections, but I hardly ever want to play 21 and up shows. So I guess I would say like the state of the union. Not that I really can even speak on it because I played no role in creating any of that. But I've been very grateful recipient of it. But the state of the union, I would say, is very optimistic, and I think it's just beginning in a lot of ways. When I moved to Portland, it seemed to me that in the kind of heavier music world, it was very much like black metal. Doom metal was huge. Things were very kind of atmospheric, and it was mostly like beardy guys in bars bobbing their heads with IPAs, and like no movement. And I remember the first 777 show I went to. I saw kids like windmilling and stuff, and I was like, "What the hell?" Like, oh, kid, you can move in Portland. I thought that. I didn't realize. But yeah, there's some great labels. Bleak House, whose Misery Whip is on, and King Yosef, and they do just incredible stuff. Yeah, I think, like I said, I think it's like, it feels like the sky is the limit, and it's like nowhere near plateaued, and that's because of the incredible hard work of like a handful of people, it seems like to me.
Yeah, I have a friend who lives in Portland. He actually told me about the High Limit Room. He's been there a few times, several times actually, I think, and just how like game changing that is, because he went from seeing hardcore bands in like a skate park or like an old warehouse or whatever, which is cool. But
Yes.
Now there's an actual venue, like a solid all ages venue that, is a safe space.
Yeah. And I think that's critical because all the all ages shows that were happening before that, many of them weren't at safe spaces. So, I have no problem shitting on Speed's auto body shop shows. I'm just gonna say it. Fuck Speed's auto body. I mean, I've gone to. We played one show there. I came to a couple, and the idea of like a guerrilla gig out. It's out front of an auto body shop in like a alleyway.
Yeah.
In the industrial district, and the idea of guerrilla shows are great. I love guerrilla shows, but as like an adult, going there and like seeing kids, drinking, which it's like no judgment, but it's more of like a place of concern. And then just hearing stories about fights and like assaults, and they're just not being like if you want to do guerrilla and you want to do DIY, the most important ingredient is like accountability and community. And I just wasn't seeing it there. And I think those shows have now come to an end. And while it's always sad to lose a place where people can play, it's not worth, endangering people. So yeah, going to High Limit Room and seeing like a truly sober space. And even so, they have Narcan in the bathroom. They have free earbuds. They have water stations everywhere. It's not like a judgmental space. It's a space that recognizes the responsibility, because there is an inherent responsibility when you have anybody at a show, but especially a bunch of kids. So I think it's really
sure.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy that these types of places exist now, because when I was a kid, they didn't. There was nothing like that. Like you would go to a house, you would go to a house party, and I mean everybody was loaded, and somebody would probably get shot, and that was
totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in South LA and South Bay area, and when we would go out to shows, we went to shows everywhere from Hawthorne, Inglewood, and a lot of those shows were like the best shows I ever went to. They're really cool and like really rowdy. In a way, they were the best, and backyard stuff. But like, there was definitely like kids drunk off, the classic meme of like dying in a field somewhere, just like thrown up in an alleyway somewhere. Certainly fights, and but we did have some all ages venues, and the Smell was a great spot for us down there, and Chain Reaction, again, rest in peace, the huge loss. But house shows are great, but I think, and I've seen a lot of DIY shows going on in Eugene where it seems like there's like a lot of accountability and community around that. So like shouts out to them, because it can be done, but it has to be done. It has to be done right. So the buck has to stop with somebody, I think.
Right. Yeah, we don't have very many like pop-up shows here in Tacoma, but Seattle has a big pop-up culture, and I think that's mainly because they don't have as many like all ages spaces. Like there'll be all ages shows at bars, but that's still, it's not really an all ages show. It's a bar show that allows minors up till a certain point.
Right.
But so like there's this kind of divide between the older punks, the older bands that are playing bars, and then the younger kids are like, number one, they don't have very many spaces to put on shows, and number two, they kind of feel like they have their own scene that's separate from the older, and so then they play in parks and stuff. And I'm sure you probably heard about the legendary Cal Anderson riot.
Yes.
It wasn't really a riot, but yeah, there was a lot of arrests. There was a lot of people getting beat up by cops, and it's really bad.
Yeah, that was bad for the scene. Yeah,
it's so bad for the scene. And here in Tacoma, we have it, as you know, Real Art, which is all ages, all the time. It's a safe space for everybody, and so like, it also welcomes adults and older bands just as warmly as kids.
I gotta say, one of our favorite venues we've ever played. We love that venue. We love that venue.
Well, I appreciate it, and I am very grateful to you guys for coming up and playing that show. It was incredible, and I really hope you come back for more.
Yeah, it's happening. I do need a shout out. I totally forgot. There is another all ages venue that recently opened. It's the Friends of Noise new venue in North Portland. And one thing I really like about that venue, and I think this is an important part of kind of what you're saying, kids want to be involved in the scene, and it doesn't always have to mean in bands. So what they have up there too is they're teaching kids to do sound engineering. Kids are doing lighting. Kids are doing booking. Kids are designing the flyers. I mean, frankly, I have like the most selfish job in all of punk. I'm the front man, I like I have to show up. I have all the fun. I can leave, but there's an entire community, and we don't need to just foster spaces for young musicians, but also all of those other essential roles that make punk a community,
Yeah, exactly. I think every city needs to have kind of a headquarters for all ages punk scene. Yeah, not just for shows, but also like teaching kids how to book shows, teaching kids how to do it right, teaching kids how to run sound, but
screen printing.
Let the kids lead the way. Yeah. Yes, another huge thing. Let the kids lead the way, but us old heads, certainly have a place there, and it's not really our place to tell them what to do or how to do it, but just as kind of guidance and a resource to use.
Yeah, and I when you have a microphone in your hand and you want to say a lot of dumb shit, I always want to say dumb shit. I will say, over the last couple years of us playing, when we first started playing, we were just playing bar shows because those were the shows we could get because no one knew who we were. And I had no problem just like kind of being, I don't know, like very crass. And like I still, the kids can handle it, but I do think there's like that has also propelled the messaging of the band a little bit, recognizing, oh shit, like these are like pretty young kids here. And like, what is Benchscraper's message? I'm still up there in an apron. I don't want to deviate too far from our ethos. And I think, something we've played a few shows at Radness and Sue's in Kaiser, incredible venue, youth center in Kaiser, really recommend, nonprofit. But we played a few shows there where it was like definitely like high school age kids. And I was like, when you guys go get jobs one day, if something doesn't feel right, you don't have to do it. And if something doesn't feel right, you can talk to your coworkers about it. And there's more of you than them. And it was kind of this like ad lib thing that I just said. And then I was like, yeah, as you said, as us old heads at the show, like, what is our responsibility? What role do we have to play? And I think if some poor soul out there is being impressed upon by me in some way, that's crazy. Don't they shouldn't be listening to me. But if God forbid one of them is, I want to at least feel like I imparted some kind of wisdom, or at least not making things worse by being a dick or I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, that's the base of it. Don't be a dick, and then you build from there.
Totally.
Yeah. So Portland has some incredible bands, some of which you've already mentioned. I don't know if it's something in the water down there, but your guys' hardcore bands are incredible. I mean, Dry Socket, I lump Misery Whip in there. I mean, it's all kind of in the realm of
Sure.
hardcore to me.
100%.
Shell Shock, Rip.
Yeah, rest in
I
peace.
love Shell Shock.
Great band. Yeah.
Oh, Amusement.
Mhm.
They're kind of like post hardcore. One of my favorite bands out of that town. Who else is there? What
Okay,
are some
so
of your kind of favorite bands in town?
yeah, definitely got to shout out Guilt Tradition. Guilt Tradition's incredible. Super like I would say like the style of hardcore we make. We play an E standard. I don't know what they're tuned to, but it's not it's not that super low. Like I don't get me wrong. Like I love Misery Whip. They call themselves death metal, but they're very hardcore-y, very danceable. They're in that realm. I agree with you on that. Dry Socket has that like power violence 2000s thing that's incredibly nostalgic for me. It's the kind of punk I grew up liking. But yeah, you look at bands like Slime,
Oh yeah.
and Bolt Cutter, and like these bands are very like slam inspired and incredibly like low tuning and like very like aggressive double kick, and I fucking love it. They're really good,
Tough
in
guy
terms
stuff.
totally,
Yeah. Street Policy. That was another one.
Oh yeah, Street Policy for sure. Who I think might also be. Don't quote me on it, but I think they might have recently played their last show. But I don't know if that's true. I might be conflating that with something. So don't take it from me. But I would say Guilt Tradition is a little closer to like. I think our sound is a bit more thrash. We're really into thrash. We like band like in terms of like big bands. We love Mind Force. We love like that kind of crossover sound. The DRI Suicidal Tendencies. We're a little heavier than that, but like the thrash riffs. And I think Guilt Tradition is in that sort of vein. A band that just broke up has some members in Guild Tradition, but you should still go listen to is Time Void. They're also very much like in that kind of thrashy, crossovery sound. Yeah, trying to think of like who else I'm gonna like. I know I'll kick myself later for like not shouting out bands that I like. I keep thinking of ones that like have just broken up, which I hate but it's just like how it goes. We played with a band called Witness the End recently, and they're really solid, like just instrumentally really, really good. And I mean, vocally too, just they're tight. I definitely would shout out Suffer. They're really tight band, just musically like so together. And I don't know, there's like so many. I could just go on and on, but I would say Guilt Tradition is probably my real Tolls is an incredible band. But yeah, Guild Tradition's my favorite. They're great. You got to go check them out.
Okay. Yeah, you've convinced me. I will check them out. That's one I haven't heard of yet. So thank you. I will check them out for sure.
Cool.
So besides music, what else are you passionate about? What else are you into?
Yeah, well, obviously food. I do love. Yep. I actually like my job. Like I said, you're kind of dumb if you like stay in that industry just for money, because there's like better, easier ways to make it.
Right.
So I do actually love that. My biggest passion in life up until this point has probably been travel. When I left home, I didn't go to school. I did like a couple years of community college and never did anything with it. And I moved out. I lived in like a group house, and like a flop house, a punk house, and shared a room with another guy. And my rent was like $200 or something. And so for the years kind of after high school, every time I got any amount of money, I would just buy a plane ticket. I was very broke, like no money. Like this was just like working a lot of dishwasher jobs, eating really cheap food, and buying plane tickets. So super passionate about that, and as it relates to travel. And obviously I was watching a lot of Anthony Bourdain, so that's a big one for me.
Oh, yeah.
My wife and I lived in Cambodia for 6 months as teachers, which was a super special experience. Oh, wow. So I'm really passionate about like history, specifically the history of colonialism, and specifically in Southeast Asia. Spent time in Vietnam, Hanoi, all that stuff. So that's like a big kind of core thing in my heart, and it informs my politics, I think, a lot, and also my interest in food. Beyond that, I'm a huge board game fan. I love board games. I'm like sitting in my room right now. Like you can't see, there's like a wall of board games over here. Super into them.
Awesome.
check out Cyber Savage, by the way. Benjamin and his brother, Benjamin from Misery Whip, has released, they've made this really sick tabletop war game. So that's,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so that's going on.
Okay.
But yeah, so board games, and then I have 3 cats that are super cute, and my other like really weird hyperfixation is tarantulas. I own like 25 plus tarantulas and other creepy crawlies, and I have like a whole wall of those. And yeah, luckily my wife has like a very similar obsessive collector brain, so like we enable or empower one another, you know. However you want to look at it.
Right, which could be a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah,
It just
yeah. Oh, Star Wars action figures.
on good days you balance each other.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the other one. Hundreds of
All
Star
right.
Wars action figures.
Yeah.
Massive Star Wars fan. I've got cardboard cutouts
Okay.
of stormtroopers, and
Awesome.
yeah, that's the lifelong passion right there. So yeah,
Hell yeah.
I just have
Hell
ADHD. I just have ADHD and that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah, fucking same, brother, same.
Yeah.
So, Clone Wars.
Oh, I love Clone Wars. I love Clone Wars.
So, Star Wars, yes, huge Star Wars nerd. Clone Wars rules.
I love it. I love Ren Fair. Yeah, I'm like the opposite of a gatekeeper. I'm actually like toxically evangelist. I'm like, my interests are your interests now. I just,
Yeah.
it's easy for me to talk about the stuff I'm obsessed with. But yeah, my wife and I are like super into Ren Fair. We threw like a totally DIY Ren Fair wedding, actually. And we go every year and we camp out. We go to the one in Washington. As a matter of fact, y'all's is a lot better than ours. Yeah, our tiny apartment is so full of just you know, from like, I got chainmail in the closet, you know, but
Hell yeah.
yeah, nerd shit.
Yeah. I feel you. I have a house and it's full of Star Wars action figures and CDs and books and all sorts of nerdy shit.
I love an action figure. You know, it's not a doll; it's an action.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's next? You guys are locked into writing and soon recording.
Yeah.
So what is 2026? This is going to come out like in February. So what does the rest of the year look like for you guys?
It's just coming out in February. Yeah, we are hitting the studio the first week of April. Basically, what we found was that it was nearly impossible to play shows while writing in a meaningful way, just because, you know, one day of the week you're playing the show, the other day of the week you're rehearsing for the show, and there's just not, you know, the rest of the week you're working. So yeah, we played our last show for 2025 back in November, and now we're fully writing. Right now we're about 8 tracks deep. I don't really know how long it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be all those, if it's going to be more than that. We kind of went back and forth. Are we doing a full length? Are we doing an EP? What are we doing? And I think we're going to do what we end up doing. And I think we're just going to let it be organic and let it be as long as it needs to be. But really, really excited about the stuff that we're writing right now. We were playing some of our new stuff, like 2 songs that we've played now a couple times live, but they'll be on the recording. They've never been recorded. But yeah, so we'll be doing that. We are definitely doing at least 1 music video. Possibly 2. Really excited about our music video concept for the first one we're doing, which y'all will find out about eventually. I don't want to like say too much, but I will say that there's going to be an opportunity for all of Portland's service industry to participate as much as they want. So I'm really looking forward to that.
All right.
Music videos, certainly. New recording, definitely. I imagine it will come out sometime in May. If not June, but yeah, so we're doing that, writing till then. We're going to start gigging again in the spring as well, kind of to promote and during the time that this new release comes out. So kind of in the spring, you can expect us to kind of reemerge from the shadows with new music videos, and a summer full of shows. And we'll have to talk, because I definitely want to play Tacoma, definitely want to play Seattle. We want to, you know, we haven't played Eugene yet. We want to play Eugene. We'll be playing Portland, certainly, but I think this last summer was all kind of about like establishing here. And I think we really want to get out. I'd really love to get up to Vancouver, BC and play a show. I love it up there. So hitting the road more, having stuff to promote. Also, I personally have a kind of video journalism / zine project called Turn and Burn, which is still very much in the Benchscraper cinematic universe, if you will.
Uh-huh.
Got the website together, but it's not dropped yet. I expect sometime around then that'll come out too. So
Okay.
uh, we're gonna have a DVD available of our little cooking show that we did 2 episodes of. That'll be
Yes.
there.
Uh-huh.
So basically, just like a lot.
Are you gonna do more of that?
So yeah, so we did a couple of those. They were called diners, drive-ins, and dive bombs, and it was super fun. And
Mhm.
we went to a couple cool restaurants. We talked to some really cool local musicians and all that. It was great. The short answer is I'm going to do more of that, but it's not going to be Benchscraper presents diners, drive-ins, and dive bombs. That little kind of fun stunt thing we did, it's kind of got legs outside of Benchscraper, and it can kind of be its own thing. And I don't really want to confuse it with the band. I want to keep the band about the music. So
Yeah.
no more diners, drive-ins, and dive bombs, but you can kind of consider that the pilot for what Turn and Burn is going to be, which
Okay.
hopefully is much larger in scope and has a bit more of like an editorial quality to it. And yeah, I'm excited about that, funneling all of this ADHD into things. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think come spring there's going to be a lot of Benchscraper activity for sure.
Awesome. Come out of your winter hibernation and
Yes,
hit the ground.
exactly.
Awesome. Well, Alec, thank you so much. Anybody else you need to shout out? Any other announcement you need to make?
Oh man, there's probably a million I could shout out, but yeah, you know what? I'll shout out Milk Crate Kitchen. Anybody who has a little bit extra money, or if you're in the Portland area and you have a little extra time, they're always looking for volunteers. They're a really wonderful organization. I think right now, especially with everything going on with the fucking fascist government and people's access to SNAP benefits and inflation out of control, there's a lot of hungry people out there. So I would definitely shout out Milk Crate Kitchen. You can look them up online. You can donate. You can volunteer. They're a worthy cause.
That was Alec from Portland hardcore band Benchscraper. Awesome guy. Awesome band. Go see them if you have a chance. They should be playing some Seattle and Tacoma dates in the spring and or summer. If you get a chance, see them. Check out their merch. Check out their music. Their merch is sick. Go to their website. Go to their Bandcamp. Look at their merch. It's fucking ridiculous. Great band. Great guys. Thanks for stepping on the show, being on the interview here. I'm going to play a song from Benchscraper now. This is off of their most recent EP called No Reservations, No Substitutions. This song is called Make It Nice.
kids.
Hey, Dad.
What do you want to do today?
We don't know.
Do you want to go to the matinee?
No.
Do you want to go to the amusement park?
No.
Do you want to go to the punk rock show?
Yeah, let's go to the punk rock show.
Concert calendar for the next week or so. On February 19th, Thursday at Baba Yaga, we've got Tres Leches, Coral Grief, Black Ends, Flesh Produce, and Klutz. That is at Baba Yaga on Thursday, the 19th. On Friday, February 20th, at Real Art, Grit City Punk presents Love in This Economy, featuring Shane Banger from Seattle, Star Matriarch from Tacoma, Downsize from Olympia, and Nogginless from Tacoma. This is a huge show for me. You know I love Shane Banger. You know I love Star Matriarch. Those two together are going to be just an amazing show. Downsize, like I mentioned earlier, this is their Tacoma debut. They are a relatively new band, and I'm incredibly excited for them to have them play and for everybody to check them out that hasn't got a chance to see them yet. And opening up the show is brand new band. Never played a live set, like public live set before. They're called Nogginless. I am so happy to be bringing them on for their first show. And as an opener for this show, I think it's going to be a great fit. They are a very, very exciting anarcho-punk band. This is going to be an awesome set from them. Awesome show all the way around. And if you've been to a Grit City Punk Rock show, you know the deal. Everybody's welcome. I guarantee you it's a safe space. And if it's not, we will take care of it. You know there's going to be sick bands. The lineup's going to be incredible. Tickets are on sale now. You know the drill for Real Art. $10 pre-order, $15 at the door. If you're in high school, then you get the ticket for $5 if you show your student ID at the door, which is an incredible program. Man, let's fill this place up. This is going to be such an awesome show, and I really can't wait to see everybody there. If you are in the Seattle area on that day and you're over 21, there's an optional show. You can see Gunk, who are a great punk band from Denver, I believe, somewhere in Colorado. They are called Gunk. They are really rad. They just dropped an album or an EP just a couple of days ago. Sick stuff. They're going to be playing at the Belltown Yacht Club with Toxic Tears and Flea Mail. That's 21 and over show on Friday the 20th. But definitely, if you're in the Tacoma area and you're especially under 21, hit up my show at Real Art, Love in This Economy. You will not regret it. The next day, the Saturday, the 21st, is the Trans Music Showcase at Chop Suey, also a 21 and over show. That features Tripe, Auntie Death, and Pregnant Dad. Hell of a lineup there. This is the first Trans Music Showcase that Chop Suey is doing. This is going to be a regular thing. I'm not sure exactly how regular, if it's going to be monthly or bi-monthly or quarterly or whatever, but definitely check that out if you get the chance to. Also on Saturday in Tacoma at Real Art is Denial of Life's record release show. If you recall, about maybe a month, 2 months ago, they dropped an album called Witness the Power. They are doing the release show for that now. I think they've been on tour or whatever. So this is their hometown show for that record release. And this is a huge show for you hardcore people out there. Also playing on the bill is Power, Slime, fucking Misery Whip, End of Days, Witness Chamber, Cujo, and a secret set. I mean, if you want a hardcore show, that's the one to go to for sure. That's at Real Art on Saturday the 21st. Also Saturday the 21st at Lucky Liquor, an all ages show with Polarity Crisis, Toxic Tears, 3T, and Schmutzhund. Also, same day at Adaball, you got a 21 and over show featuring Black Ends, High Glow, and Snowbones. Moving into the next week on Friday, the 27th at Real Art is Anya and Stan's Birthday Bash Smackdown with, of course, Capala, Little Tavis, Midnight on Cromwell, and Cassie. That's Real Art on February 27th. That's going to be a cool new metal slash hip hop slash electronica kind of mashup thing. But I mean, Capala is on the bill, so you know it's going to be sick. It is officially their EP release show as well. They will have new merch for the show. And it's also Anya's birthday and Capala Super Stan named Stan, his birthday also as well. So it's going to be an awesome time. They say, dress as your favorite wrestler. I swear to God, if anybody dresses like Hogan, fucking don't. Okay. Yeah. So that's Concert Calendar. If you want to keep up on Tacoma area concerts on a weekly basis, there is a new Instagram account started. It is called Show Me Tacoma, and they are taking submissions from everybody who's booking shows and bands that have shows, and they are putting together a weekly Instagram post for the concert calendar for the week. They, I believe, will be uploading those on Monday. So right now, what should be their first one should be up today. So make sure to follow that. And for Seattle shows, Riley from Negative Passengers has started like an email newsletter kind of thing with weekly Seattle events. I don't know where the sign up for that email is at. I signed up for it when she initially announced it. If you just watch their socials, you could probably find the link somewhere. So yep, that's what I got for concerts this week. Hope to see it if you. I'd like to touch on something here before the episode's over. Not really wanting to get too deep into the topic right now, but I just want to bring up solidarity and allyship, especially within the punk community. I had an experience recently that pissed me off, kind of called into question my integrity and my intentions with my platform. And I just want to remind everybody that if you are going in with a preconceived notion of a person because of who they appear to be, like, for example, if you assume that because somebody is a cis white male that they are going to be a toxic person, then you've really got to rethink your judgments there. As much as I hate this phrase, and I know everybody hates this phrase, but, it's the not all men. But the point that I'm making with that is that if you've had bad experiences with cis men, and I know a lot of women and female presenting people and men, straight and queer, have had issues with male toxicity, but you cannot or should not project that onto every interaction with a cis male that you don't know. That's really harmful to the community, really, making snap judgments based on preconceived assumptions. If somebody is approaching you and their intentions seem to be helpful or uplifting, then you should really just assume that that's true unless you see a reason why it's not true. I'll say this time and time again. I mean, we are all in this fight together. It is not straight against queer. It is not man against woman. It is not black against white. It is us against corporate oppressors and crooked politicians. I mean, it is us and them. Literally, we have us. So we need all of us. We need solidarity between all oppressed classes. And anybody who knows me knows that I will always side with the marginalized and the oppressed. That is just in my nature, at my core being You just can't make a knee-jerk reaction and move to cancel somebody or block them just because you don't know them and you think that they might be disingenuous. I don't know if any of this is making sense. I guess what I'm trying to say is that, we need to be kind and considerate and compassionate to everybody. We're all in this fight together. Life is messy business. Not everybody is going to be 100% right every time. Don't approach people on a moral high horse, because chances are you will get knocked down off that horse more than one time, because people who play the moral high ground in interactions, especially with strangers, even if they're right, that comes off as very arrogant, very elitist, and it's not helpful to community and to camaraderie. You just can't win allies with that kind of behavior. And if anybody ever doubts my integrity or what my intentions are with this platform or anything at all, come talk to me. I mean, seriously, or talk to somebody that knows me, because, you just can't make snap judgments on people based on a 5-second glance at their Instagram page. I'm not naming names here, but yeah. So that's the show. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the interview with Alek from Benchscraper. I certainly did. Love the guy. He's a great dude and such a sick band. Can't wait to see them again. Can't wait to hear their new material on their upcoming release. Really stoked about that. I hope you enjoyed all or at least some of the songs that I played. I try to keep a little bit of a variety between stuff that I really like and stuff that I know other people really like. I have eclectic tastes, so it's all over the place anyways. So make sure that you're following me on whichever podcast platform that you listen to podcasts at. It's also on YouTube. You can listen to the episodes there with a nice still graphic, really, really swanky stuff there. You can check it out. You can follow me on Bandcamp. That's gritcitypunk.bandcamp.com. You can listen to or download the episodes for free. Some of them get separated into 2 parts just because of the length of them. But I try to draw that line right when the interview starts, so that becomes part 2. And like I said, they're free to listen to or download. There's an optional if you want to drop a donation in there for an episode. Cool, whatever. I mentioned YouTube. Also, the Grit City Punk YouTube page has tons and tons of live footage from shows that I've been to recently. I mean, all the way back from before I started this project. I've got live footage from local bands. It's all up there. Full songs. There's a couple of full sets even. So that's kind of a cool little snapshot of the scene through my eyes anyways. I've got a playlist on Apple and Spotify. The links are in my link tree. That playlist is a rolling playlist of the music that I play on the show. If it's available on Apple, then it goes up there, and I cut it off to 50 songs. So it's the last couple of episodes, usually like 3 or 4 episodes worth of music. So definitely follow that if you like what you hear, or, you want to check out the songs. I will have a link to all the bands that I've featured down in the show notes. So that's going to be basically it for this show, except, one last thing. I am going to play for you a brand new, exclusive, never before heard demo track from the band Nogginless, who are playing at my Love in This Economy show this coming Friday. Nogginless from Tacoma. They have a demo that they put together, and they gave me this song to play on the show. This is called Feminism Club, and this was the song that I heard a rougher demo of before, like a phone recording of before, and I said, yes, I want this band on my show. So, going to close out with that. Remember, be good to each other, be good to yourselves, and drink lots of water, and go support your bands, support your scene, take care of your community. Love you guys. I'm out.
This has been a Jiggle Down Productions production.
I am woman, I am female, I am nothing, I am faceless, I am master, I am ripe, I am nothing, have no fate! Am I loud enough? Pretty snow, hip tips, pretty salt thighs, pretty snow acne, pretty all lies. Pretty means silence, pretty means nothing. Pretty's what they say when they want a fucking. My best friend called me an ugly pig. My date said I'm fat, but my ass is big. You can say it's girls who do it to each other, but why are you judging your own mother? Wanna be ugly, I wanna be weird, I wanna strike fair, I wanna look queer. I wanna be ugly, I wanna be weird, I wanna strike fair, I wanna look queer. Pretty, 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 shitty, 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 shitty. You're so hot, you're so pretty. You look ready, you look shitty. Your body is a temple, so sacrifice your sister, your father, your mother, your sister, your brother. Spend all your money like a stupid little girl. Spend it, make it twirl. Take it from the world. Take, 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 right, 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 right. Take, 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 right, 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 right. Wanna be ugly, I wanna be weird. I wanna strike fair, I wanna look queer. I wanna be ugly, I wanna be weird. I wanna strike fair, I wanna look queer. Pretty's all lovely, pretty's all lies. Pretty's all fucking, come on girl, cry. Pretty's all teenage, pretty's super fun. Pretty's your hobby, come on girl, run. Girls have dicks, girls make clicks. Girls are pretty, girls look shitty. I love girls, I love women, I love people, I love kids. Wanna be ugly, I wanna be weird. I wanna strike fair, I wanna look queer. I wanna be ugly, I wanna be weird. I wanna strike fair, I wanna look queer. Wanna be ugly, I wanna be weird. Wanna strike fair, wanna look queer. Wanna be ugly, I wanna be weird. Wanna strike fair, wanna look queer.
Very cool. I will put the link to that in the bottom of the episode too.
That'd be great.
So-
Thanks.
Cool. Thank you very much.
This was so much fun. Thank you, dude.
Yeah. And then that will be the actual end. But if I can get an intro from you, so just kind of announce who you are and that this is Grit City Punk. You can do it however you want. You can do it several times. I always like to have B-roll.
Totally.
So
All right.
whenever you're ready, sir.
My name's Alek. I'm the frontman for Benchscraper, and you're watching Grit City Punk.
So many people do that watching. It's actually just audio only.
Audio, got it. All right,
Yeah.
all right. Oh man, I didn't need to make my hair. No,
No, thank you though. That was an extra step you didn't need to do, but I appreciate it.
my name's Alek. I'm the frontman for Benchscraper, and you're listening to Grit City Punk. I'll do one more for you.
Awesome.
You're listening to Grit City Punk. My name's Alek, and I'm the frontman for the Portland-based hardcore band Benchscraper.
All right.
Cool, dude.